No more room for error now. If Oklahoma's going to play for a conference championship, they're going to have to get it together this weekend, without a doubt.
Let's go!
Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. Appreciate everybody showing up, getting in here. Boomer 129, Bloody. What's up? Welcome to the Woodshed, folks. Welcome to the Woodshed. Seatbelt Mafia in the house. What's up? What's up, man? How we doing? Good to see you. Good to see you, Derek. Mars Jams, Sooner Lemon, Hankster. All my boys are here. Stephen G. Yeah. All right, here we go. Good stuff, man. So we're going to be talking a little bit about tonight. We've got a few different things we're going to get we've got on the agenda here. Going to start off talking obviously a little bit about Oklahoma now having zero room for error in the race to Arlington. I'm going to talk a little bit about this question that came at Drake Stoops about not having much to play for, which was stupid in its own right. Stoops was also named a semifinalist for a national award, so we'll be talking about that as well. Then we'll get into the Coach I's Fanatic Sports College Football Playoff Top 25 rankings. Talk a little bit about this Michigan Big Ten sign stealing latest. I don't know how much we'll talk about that. It's kind of changing all the time. Yeah, Mars Jams. Shout out to Bucky's, as usual. And then let's see. Don't forget to shout out Bucky's. Yeah, thank you, Stephen G. Shout out to Bucky's. So, Lori, hello. How are you? I don't know what that was about, but okay. Where is Chicken, though? Where's Chicken's butt? How many looks? Oh, man. Bucky's for the win. Yeah, no doubt. We'll also get into some of the games of the week around college football as well. The must-watch games of the week. We're going to kind of go at it in a by category of must-watch games of the week, some sneaky good games that you might want to make sure you stay on top of, contenders that may be on upset alert as well. Tenders, bro. I'm a tenders guy for sure. Good question. Like it. Neilio, hey, comes in with bearing gifts, man. Appreciate that. Good Thursday evening to y'all. Bucky's. Heck yeah, buddy. One of these days, they're going to just go ahead and give us that sponsorship, huh? Definitely want to thank our new sponsor, though, as well. We got our guy, the Chicken is out there defending mama jokes. Yeah, I don't know where he might be doing that. Yeah, he doesn't like that much. He gets under his skin a little bit. No, but wanted to thank one more time our new partners there with DevilDog's Brews and Beans. New coffee company that's going to be getting in here with us. The big thing that I love about the whole deal is obviously it helps support the show, but I love it that it's supporting veterans, particularly in the Wounded Warrior program. 5% of everything that you do. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's I'm excited about it. Really, the biggest thing to me is I want to see us. I'm waiting on my box of goodies. We've got a new coffee mug that they've got up there for us. Actually, let me get on there and get that. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the chat real quick. So it's DevilDog's Brews and Beans, and then it'll be my last name. If you just go to DevilDog's Brews and Beans and you use the promo code Boomer, use the promo code Boomer, you will get 10% off your first order, and free shipping is in the continental United States for all of it, right? Okay. All right. So get in there and check that out. That's obviously in there. What's up, Steve B? Sooner Lemon with a super chat as well. Thank you, Lemon. I'm on here. I'm on time and watching the Panthers play. Yeah, that's them in the Bears, right? That's got to be a fun game. But let me present this screen real quick as well. So as you can see on DevilDogs, free shipping on all U.S. orders. Everything that you order, all coffees and stuff are roasted, grinded, and bagged up and shipped on the same day that you order them. So you're going to have freshness guaranteed no matter what. They've got some amazing different coffees. I'm trying out with their Cowboys one to start with. Let's see the blends. It's the Cowboy blend. So that's the first one that I got coming this way. I think that one ought to be pretty good. But they've got Italian roast. They've got some of the stuff from as far away as they've got them from all over the world. So it's pretty awesome. Latin America blend, the Asian plateau, the breakfast blend. I think that one might be the one for Mike. He said that he doesn't really like. Yeah. Just recently purchased the sample bags called Salty Dogs. Thought I'd give them a try. Hey, man, that's awesome. Thank you for that, too. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Hey, yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's an affiliate deal, and they actually, I got to really thank High Top from High Top Sports for doing that as well. He got me involved in it and had them get a hold of me about it. He's doing it as well. So they've got some stuff in there, but I wanted to show you guys the new mug. That's the one I wanted to show you. So 6 a.m. in Texas still sucks. So when you wake up in the morning, that's a good way to wake up, right? Yeah. The whiskey barrel. Yeah. Oh, did you? You bought them from, oh, good. Well, I'm glad you like them. That's good stuff. Call the Kansas Hokies table. Oh, you will play inspired and much tighter. Well, that's good. I'm glad you need to quit calling it the other way there, Alan. Appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. Only one in Oklahoma and it ends with state, but yeah, right. Bro, it's still 90-20 in the series. 90-20, 91-20, actually. Thank you. But whatever, Anyway, check out so we've got our logo on one side, the DevilDogs logo is on the other, and then that amazing little saying. That's a good way to wake up, right? Good way to wake up. If OU wins out, what needs to happen for OU to get to Arlington? Good one. Thank you for the super chat, Quartz. So essentially you're gonna need Texas and Kansas, I believe, to lose. That's the first way, the easiest way. You would need Okie Light would have to lose twice, which I would not put it past them doing that, although they're looking really good right now. Not to say anything bad. 20 games and 119 years of play, zero humility in Stillwater. Yeah. They talk a lot of smack, and I guess you don't really want to talk about the egregious missed calls out there. I guess you don't want to do that. I get it. I wouldn't either. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, look, guys, make sure that you get on that link there. If you just use the promo code Boomer, get 10% off your first order, and you will always get free shipping all over the USA for all of that stuff. So yeah, I've got a mug and I've got a pound of the coffee coming in right now. I'm trying out the Cowboy blend. We'll see how it goes, but excited about it. The big thing is, to me, again, is the fact that 5% of everything that they sell goes to the Wounded Warrior program. Being a veteran myself, I know we've got veterans in here as well that watch the show. I'm very, very appreciative of that, because our veterans, particularly ones that have made that sacrifice, deserve better than what they get in this country. I love programs like Wounded Warrior. I think that they're one of the best ones out there too, for the guys that been over there and put their life on the line for us. So there it is. All right. Yep. Tired of Jenny Carlson. She talks so bad about Oklahoma. She had attitude saying Oklahoma is lying about the play that happened in the end zone with Drake Stoops. What? Why is she saying that? I'll tell you something. If you were watching it, they had an official in the studio, which, they always tend to have, that immediately said that was a interference. Plain and simple. When you get hit before you get out of bounds, that's not even right. So whatever. Yeah, Jenny. I don't know what's up with Jenny then. I don't know what's going on with her. But it surprises me a little bit, I didn't know she was really I didn't realize that she acted like that. Anyway, yeah. Make sure to hop on there, check out all the different stuff that they have at DevilDog's Brew and Beans. All right. When OK State can claim more than 5 Big 12 championships, they can talk S and acknowledge it. And you'll acknowledge it. Yeah, listen, when they win more than one, sheesh, win one. They claim a national championship 1945, 80 years later, and you do realize that all the men were off fighting a war at that time. Whatever. Is she? I didn't know that either, but that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, the camera doesn't lie. And look, there wasn't anybody in that booth or in the studio or anywhere else that said anything that it wasn't a terrible non-call. Completely ridiculous non-call. Okay? There's no way around it. There's just no way around it. Sick of her. She needs to not talk or write about Oklahoma. Jenny for the clicks. Yeah, and look, and as a creator, I definitely understand that side of it. You have folks that are out there doing that all the time. Here's the thing, and we'll go ahead and kind of jump into what we need to talk about anyway, but there's definitely no more room for error. And what I won't do is sit here and blame all of it on those guys, right? Yeah, and my alma mater has 3, and I know my place too. Look, K-State, here's the deal. If you're so great in your Oklahoma State, you would think that you would at least have as many as K-State, Baylor, there's no way around it. And the bottom line is that I'll just say this, Mike Gundy is still mediocre Mike, folks. And yeah, you can jump in there and check out all of our stuff on our merch site. That's one of the new shirts. We also have the Asterix t-shirts on there as well. That has the record on the back as well. There's an asterisk on the score and explaining that it was a bullcrap call. So there should be an asterisk on that. But yeah, listen, bottom line is I'm going to tell you that, for all the talk they do about having the second, and their big claim to fame over the last, decade or whatever, is that they have more wins than any team aside from Oklahoma in the last decade. Well, that might matter if the Big 12 wasn't kind of crappy over the last decade. And it might matter, when you don't have Texas hasn't been relevant at all. I still venture to say that they're not relative until they win it here or get to 10 wins or something, which they haven't got there yet. And I would not be that surprised. What's up? What's up, Mr. Sharp? Be sharp. Risky, my man, how you been? But until they win a few, and the thing is they've had opportunities to help. Lincoln gift wrapped them the Big 12 championship on his way out. Gift wrapped it for him. And what do they do immediately? Go in and gag it up in the championship game against Baylor when they had beat the crap out of Baylor earlier in the season. It just doesn't even make any sense. So, it is what it is. Your business to gain clicks. Oh. Hey, Sam. Hey, Sam's a pro, man. That's all there is to Sam. He is the dude. Glad to see that he's feeling better. Said he's doing okay. I guess his little he had to go in and have his heart checked out, do some stuff, and he's got some. Everybody encourage him to handle all that stuff, and we want to keep him around, see him around a little bit more. But apparently, he's got some diet changes to make and stuff like that as well. He's one of the guys you definitely like to watch all the time. I like Sam. Yeah, think TCU could pull off the upset. I wouldn't be that surprised at this. See, now Texas has had a lot of issues with TCU. Now TCU isn't near what they were before, and they've been so kind of back and forth on everything. Hey, look at here. We got Rose in here. What's up, JJ?
What's up, man? Figure
JJ Kitchen. What's up?
Figure I had a little bit of time, had to stop in a little bit, get a little bit of the conversation in.
Heck yeah. We're just chopping it up a little bit with the audience about kind of rehashing what happened over the weekend. And really the issue now is you put yourself in a position that you don't have any room for error. And that's what I was saying to these guys. As much as there's no two ways around it. It was some awful officiating that was going on in Bedlam.
Yeah.
But in the end, you put yourself in a position to where the officials could decide the game.
Yeah.
When you do that, you got to live with it. You got to live with it,
You got to live with it, but also too, look, you're going to get Stroud just based off of, what you're leaving. You're leaving the conference. You're going to already have it tough as it is. Look, I think calls went both ways on a number of different calls, but I thought the most egregious one was at the end of the game on Stoops. I thought for sure. I thought for sure that should have been a flag, and especially an important moment of that game and that magnitude. And it was so blatant
in the end zone. Yeah.
Usually,
and that puts you on the 2-yard line.
Yeah,
and so more than likely that's a game winner right there. So you can't expect people to not be mad about that.
Yeah, and I think from a fan's perspective, it was a fun game to watch, and that's why I love the rivalry. But when you have a call like that, when it's so blatant, if it's kind of going both ways, you want to let it go. But when it's such one way and they kind of like tackled him out of bounds, all you can do at this point is get ready for West Virginia. You only have 2 losses.
Absolutely.
You're still a top 15 team.
That's
just
right.
got to make the corrections. That's all it is. And just honestly, I think you've gone 2 straight weeks, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Just Jeff Lebby's got to be better. He's got to be better, and that's 2 straight weeks when you're looking at stuff. Do I still think he's a good coordinator? I do, but he's just. For some reason, there's like a discrepancy on like just what he's doing and what he's trying to do. There's got to be some adjustments. There really does.
Yeah, it feels like to me, and this is what I've been saying a lot lately. And let me see what we can't say we put ourselves in that position. I know all games are close this late in the season. Sometimes it is on the rest. Look, to some extent, I agree with you, Mars, but I can say that you were in that position for a reason, because when you start off the third quarter, you go out there and you have a little momentum and you don't continue to put yourself in positions. You had a couple of 3-and-outs there. You just had some bad play calling there too. I think that you could have changed the entire complexity of the game in the first quarter. When you're on the 1-yard line, you end up at the plus 35 and on a first down. And here's the thing, that was BS. They're saying that was not called to go directly to Javonte Barnes.
Yeah.
That snap was directly to him. He hot potatoed it instead of going down on top of it or trying to get something out of it. That wasn't good. That was definitely one of those things where, and execution is part of what is to blame here as well.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you is I hate that play call. At that moment, you don't have anybody they hadn't stopped you at all. You started on the 1. You've already made 49, 50, almost 60 yards.
Yeah.
No, over 60 yards, 64 yards of movement on that drive. Now, on that first down, even if you have to eat that play or whatever, chances are, you'd already had 2 big third down pickups on that drive. They hadn't really stopped you. Had a couple of drops and stuff like that. And that's the whole deal, is once you think about the fact that what if they'd have went down there and scored, even if it was a field goal, it would have been better than that. But if they go down there and score a touchdown, that's a 99-yard drive. You kept your defense off the field for probably a good 6 minutes or so. Then you get a TV timeout. That's good amount of rest. You change not only the momentum of the game, you change the entire complexity, the field position battle, all of that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there. When you turn it over, now they come back on, and even around midfield, it still took them 11 plays to go score. So your defense was now on the field again for another 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And look, that switches, everything switched up just on that alone.
Yeah.
And you don't score anything going into the half. You don't score anything coming out of the half. You know, those what did Coach V said during the Red River game, that the most important times of the game, first 2 minutes of each half, last 2 minutes of each half. They failed there. That's all there is to say about it.
You know, it is what it is. And I think it's what honestly, to the point where you're saying, you know, you got to make those adjustments. And I think we've, again, you've talked about it plenty of times. It's just coming down to the point where you have to make those plays. And look, yeah. I understand why people are upset with Jeff Lebby, stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and hey, it's the last game of, it's the last bedlam ever. You know, it's got to be better. I completely agree with you. I just think that
he turned around and like threw Stoops under the bus for not getting to the marker. You know, on that pass play, there was one guy that was you cut off half the field and you expect him to make it there.
Yeah,
and look, you're the coach. You are in charge of that offense. Take some damn responsibility. He took none.
Yeah, look, I understand it goes both ways. So it's on the coaching staff and the player, but to not take any at all. That was a little something that, clearly just didn't sit well with people. But I just, my biggest thing is if you're looking at a schedule perspective, that's a big loss because it's a rivalry game. You don't want to have it run over to the next game. That's the problem. What I'm really concerned about is, look, it's at least it's at home. But, West Virginia's playing good football. That's why, you just don't want to make it 3 in a row now. You don't want to go down that trend where now you've kind of developed a system to where you're just nurturing losses now. And you're just sitting on it. And I think this is kind of boiled over to the second week. And here we are Thursday. Oklahoma's a good football team. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to cut ties now and just get ready for the game. But they got to get back on track. And I think just some of those guys that just, especially the coaching staff and you hope they take the next step and just start moving the other direction. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but at least Oklahoma's at home. That's a major factor for this coming week.
Yeah. If you do not like what Jenny Carlson had to say, hit the like button. We got 33 people in here. We got 12 likes. Come on, folks.
Come on, people.
Wipe your feet. Wipe your feet. If you don't like Jenny Carlson, hit the like.
Look, you guys know the fee. If you know the show, share the show. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Yeah, listen, like I said, I had a problem in it, and I really think that's why Venables came in on Monday night on his show, and he made the comment that they had a Rolodex of better plays than what they ran on that 4th down. Mm-hmm. I think that was his way of saying don't throw the players under the bus.
Yeah,
because BV has fallen on the sword for any time they make a mistake.
Plenty of times
they make a mistake. Yeah. Hey, yeah, man, I'm excited to do it too, man. Be sharp, man. This is our boy Brinsky from the Sharpshooters podcast. You got to go check him out too, JJ. That's they have a kind of it's a cool show they do. That it's kind of barbershop talk and sports. But he's an Alabama guy, really good. He goes on Around the Table with Ty a lot. So you got to go check him out. And be sharp. You got to go check out JJ's show too. Talking college football with JJ Kitchen. He's the man. Kim, what's up, buddy? Mars, yeah. Hey, look, in the end, I want to see Lebby adjust. I don't know what's going to happen there, but what we were talking about, there's really not any more room. You don't have any room for error. You need help as it is. You cannot go out there and lose this football game. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you something, West Virginia is the type of football team that if you let them hang around, it's your ass.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of the thing they have to look at too is, you look at West Virginia, they're not world beaters, but right now they're sitting at 6-3. I think the one thing that when you look at their schedule that's pretty noticeable is that they've only faced one team, I guess 2 teams that have a winning record. One was Penn State, they lost that one big, and then they beat, BYU, but was BYU really, a 5-3 football team. And then on top of that, when you look at it, you kind of like ask the question, they didn't have Keaton Slovis. He's not having too great of a year, but he's doing okay. But if the only team that you face with a winning record's 5-3, that's a questionable mark. But tell you what, though, man, if like you said, if you let West Virginia hang around, man, they find ways to win football games. It's just who they are, and it's just kind of who they've been this year. I think Neil Brown's worked his way off the hot seat. He's sitting at 6-3, unless he loses the next 3 games and then in the bowl game to finish 6-7. I kind of think that he keeps his job for another year. He kind of saved his ass, but he's kind of on the hot seat periodically now every year until he gets an extension. So, but they're you know what, like you said,
I think he kind of earned that this year, don't you think? It seems like he has.
I think he's earned another year. A contract extension would be a little bit too much for me. I think that there are still serious questions about, one, the defense. The defense played well last week against BYU, but it's BYU. When you look at their offense, the run game's been going really well. But they haven't faced any of the world beaters yet. I think there's to be a lot. This will tell you a lot about who this football team is when they face Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a top 15 team. We're going to find out who they are. Because the bash on them again is that they haven't faced any good teams. I mean, that's kind of where they're at this point. In heck, I'm a Pitt fan. We've had a tough year. We're not a good football team this year. So they haven't faced anybody good. This is going to be a great question mark here. This is going to be a great borderline to say, hey, if you're Ren Baker, the athletic director at West Virginia, you're having yourself a question right now. Hey, our barometer should be Oklahoma. If we come out there and we get absolutely smoked, that is a major red flag. But if they keep it close, then you can have a little bit of discussion. But this is the real first test. Besides Penn State, this is the real first test. And you're already more than halfway through the year. If you're West Virginia and you're Neil Brown, you got to keep it close. If you don't keep it close, you got a lot of questions that, a lot of things to be answered. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, listen, I think that their biggest thing, I was on Kuz's show, and I'll have a preview out in the morning. He came on with me for about 15-20 minutes also. So we got a preview. I just got to do a couple of edits on that, and it'll be ready. But
yeah, listen, I saw you on his channel. I saw that preview too. So I saw it looked good.
I think the biggest thing for them is that, Garrett Green's a heck of a quarterback. I mean, he's not super accurate when it comes to the pass, but he's a gamer, Yeah. He's able to run the ball. He hurt Oklahoma last year when he got in the game because JT Daniels went out and he came in, and his ability to make things happen on the fly and run a little bit outside the pocket was big for them. Now, Oklahoma made some mistakes, probably still should have won the game. Mm-hmm. This is what you continue to see with OU, is that when they don't win, it's because they have a little bit of adversity. They make some mistakes and they don't adjust and recover.
If you recall, there was plenty of plays down the sideline where there was just a bunch of drop passes, and I think obviously that was a monsoon up there too. It was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a real tough, rainy game,
cold and rainy, and it was a rough game. You still expected they probably should have won it, but listen, that's the one. I think that's the one time West Virginia's beaten OU since they got into the league. So
yeah, it's the only time.
Yeah. So in the end, I think that getting them at home, this is a big recruiting weekend. You've got a lot of the kids that are coming in for this recruiting weekend to watch this game. Expect a big crowd there. It's a night game, which is a big deal for, Oklahoma hadn't got to play in a night game yet this year. So that'll be good. I would just tell you that I suspect that, what did he say here? Attended Alex Van Pelt led Pitt squad.
Yo, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. Wow,
brother, that's some old school football right there. Wow, man, that's pretty sweet. And obviously, Alex Van Pelt, who's he's with the Cleveland Browns right now on their coaching staff. That's a good tidbit right there, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Lebby's going to be here next year either. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, Alan. But I'm not sure that he is either, and I don't know that it has so much to do with Coach V getting rid of him. I don't know that maybe he isn't just ready to go. We're in the end. I would hope that you don't see him necessarily. I'm not saying right now that we have to just bounce him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I hope it's good weather down there. Obviously for
it's supposed to be decent weather. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
That's good. So I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be a fun game to watch, man. It's you look at West Virginia again. They got a good run game. I think it's really where they're at. I agree with you. He's not exactly the most When it comes to accuracy, he's roughly around like the 50% mark, which is
he's around 52%, I think, something like that. So that's I mean, look, I think that overall there's really no excuse to lose this game. What I would tell you is that they have a amazing tandem running backs. You know, they got a freshman that's coming. It's kind of a thunder and lightning type of deal with
Jaheim White and CJ Donaldson, man.
Ooh,
yeah,
man,
that kid's gonna be good, man. I'll tell you what. One thing about the West Virginia Mountaineers, I think that, and I say this from a perspective, I'm going to go on 2 points here, but the first thing about West Virginia, they got to hold talent. You know, one thing that's been very vocal about in the Neil Brown era is that they've lost talent, and that's through the portal, and then it's been starters. They got to be able to keep these guys, Jaheim White, CJ Donaldson. They're going to have, obviously, their O-line is going to turn over a little bit, but, you know, you look at their roster overall, especially on defense, that Trey Lathan, he's out this year. He got hurt, but I'll tell you what, they got to keep him around. They got to pay him. There's going to be a bunch of stuff they got going on. But when you look at the other perspective, let me tell you something, Oklahoma fans. Oklahoma is still a good football team. Okay,
absolutely.
You know, when you look at this team overall, only 2 losses. You know what? You really start to stretch the tide here. You win against West Virginia. You only got 2 losses. You got 2 games left, going right into the final 2 weeks. I think they need Oklahoma State to lose 1 game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 1 game? Or
they need to lose 2. They need to lose 2. But if Kansas was to lose again, which I think they probably should, I mean, it's maybe they don't, maybe they do, but I mean, K-State generally owns that series.
Mm-hmm.
And is it, Neilio, remind me, are they in Manhattan or is it in Lawrence this year? I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you what too. In heart of hearts, I don't see Lance Leipold taking that job at Michigan State either.
I don't see him taking that one either.
I looked it up. First off, I don't think he did interview. I did have him as a candidate in one of my recent shows, but one of the things I talked about is that, you know, to get him to leave, you'd have to pay him a lot and try to show him what you're building in Michigan State. But I really do think he likes it at Kansas. But the question is, though, I think he's looking for some bigger jobs. I really do. I think there's going to be some other jobs within the SEC and a couple other Big Ten schools that could really, you know, attract him to try to leave.
Yeah. I think that that's the thing is I don't know that what I said on my tweet was that it's a matter of time. I don't think it's Michigan State either.
Yeah,
I think
there's too much going on.
I think there is, and I can see other guys that they probably like a little more, but I think that Lance is perfect for Michigan if Harbaugh is to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that one being there. Wisconsin would be another one I could see him possibly taking if somehow Fickle ended up at OSU.
Which Fickle's out.
Yeah. I think that once Fickle's out. What's up, USCJ? Look at there. Here's our boy USCJ. What's up, my dude? Lots of people don't realize his age. He's much older than he looks. He's a hell of a coach, though, man. That dude's won 7 national titles. 7 national titles at what division? 2 division.
FCS. FCS. I believe I think it might be between Division 2 and FCS. He had a little bit of both. He's had an incredible journey. I tell you what, you know, it's his age. It's a very good point. Is a one thing. That's why he brought up. You know, it's why he kind of brought up about him not going anywhere.
I could see Iowa. They need offense.
Yeah,
it would not surprise me.
Dude, here's going to be really funny. Here, to the Iowa fans, I got news for you. They fired Brian Ferentz, but they're going to probably hire Paul Chryst. So you're still going to have the same offense. That would be the funniest hire I've ever seen in my life.
Weird,
it's the
right?
Same offense, different guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lebby doesn't need to. Hey, look, I'm kind of saying this too right now, Kim. I think it's a little early. I think it's a little early to do this. Now, we cannot change it if he's upset about what happened with the whole thing with Art Briles and stuff. I understand, but
in heart of hearts, I don't see him coming back next year. I really don't. I think they make a move. I really do.
I don't know what's going to happen, man. I kind of feel like you could see some exacerbation from Brent. You can see it that he's getting a little sick of it.
I'm gonna make a prediction right now, and this it's November 9th, 10 p.m. on 11/9/2023. I'm gonna say next year, the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, Sean Lewis.
That wouldn't.
I'll tell you what.
I don't think that would upset anybody here.
And let me tell you something. He's not going to be at Colorado. That really. I reached out to
I think that's
people.
Clear.
I reached out to a couple people. He is pissed.
Sure.
And then they had Pat Shermer call plays last week, and
They scored 5 points when Pat started calling plays. That's
so
it.
bad.
I think most people would take that. Sparty needs to get away from the hot coaching candidates and set a true program builder into the program. I think you're probably right there, Neilio. Probably not wanting any other job, planning routes into his final contract job. Yeah, but do you really think that that's Kansas?
He is that. Yeah. I'll tell you what. To give like a devil's advocate of it, Neilio does have a point because he's always been a Midwest guy. You know what I mean? Where has he gone besides the Midwest? So you're kind of thinking, okay, success-wise, maybe he's got that blueprint. Like, hey, I know the Midwest. This is where I want to be. It's a good point. You know what I mean? I just think that it's going to be. It'll be interesting. That's why I can tell you this right now, in heart of hearts, and to the Pitt fans that I know some are watching. When it comes to Michigan State, he might have a bad season right now. But, I know Narduzzi got called. I do know that. And obviously he knows all those donors. And then the one billionaire,
St. So what do you think is going to happen there?
Dude, I hope he doesn't leave, man. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't, man.
You kind of almost would. Well, I don't know, though, man. That whole Big Ten, man. If you end up in the wrong program there, you're hurting yourself. And he's got a place that they love him. Right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's one bad year here. And that's kind of why the fan base finally chilled out. There's going to be, you'll always have the hecklers and stuff like that because it's a bad year. But, dude, I mean, you finish in the top 22 consecutive years. You won an ACC title. You're kind of looking like, look, just go get a different coordinator. You're fine. Everything goes back to normal because when you have the talent, just not being used correctly on offense. I'll tell you what, man. But there's those donors, man. It kind of gets concerning that because it's still out there, and I don't think that one that I bet you they called Mike Elko. I bet you they called Lance Leipold.
I think A&M's about to call Mike Elko too, though.
Yeah, I know. If they fire him, I'll tell you what. I think Mike Elko takes that job.
They have to, don't they?
They have. The only thing that I could say why he stays.
There's a lot of money, but now
the oil money, man.
They can afford it. Here's the thing: Big Brothers are showing up this next year.
Yeah. It's going to get dicey in there. It's going to get dicey because they're going to face each other every year now.
Any advantage that you had in recruiting is gone.
Yep. It's over, yeah. And
you better get a hell of a coach.
And I think that they have to work on that.
You just muted yourself, I think.
You hear me now?
No. Just real quick. Luttrell, testing. I think that, and I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I think Seth Luttrell is probably. I can't hear you, man.
What the hell?
And it's not showing. Okay, you just muted it. Unmute it.
Talk. Now can you hear me?
I can't hear you, man. Something's up. Hold on, real quick. Let me check something. Jump out and then come back in. Yeah, jump out and come back in. Okay. Yeah. So, Luttrell, I think, is probably he's the guy that I would expect. Y'all could hear him? Okay. He's popping back in. He'll pop right back in. Where are you at, Coach? Okay. I need to text him, tell him just to come back in. But I got to hear him too, or else it doesn't do any good. Can you hear me, though? Okay, you can hear me. I got to hear him, though, too, guys. I got to hear him, too. There he is.
Can you hear me now?
I can't, but hey, Coach.
Yep.
Can everybody else hear me in there?
I can hear JJ.
Me, then something going on with my stuff.
Yep. What's going on, JJ?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, long time no see, bro.
I know, man. Life's been it's been busy, brother. It's been busy.
Jason, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I know we can hear each other. Jason can't hear me either. It's his equipment.
Yeah.
I know I ain't got but 30 minutes, man. He gotta.
That's dude. I'm hopping off in like 10 minutes because it was a short time period. But let me tell you something, Coach. Your top 25, I fucking loved it. I loved it.
Hey man, you got to win to be in, baby.
Yeah. The only thing I would have changed is putting I would have put Georgia at 2. I'd have put
Yeah.
Florida State at 3, and I'd have put Michigan at 4. I think Washington's 5.
Yeah. But Washington has a better win than any of those other 3, though. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Like I say, I come up in and I get the top 25,
Yeah, I still
and then
can't hear you guys, but
then
y'all can hear each other.
Yep.
Wow. Let me pop out and see if it's me.
Yeah, and then so once I come up with the top 25, then I add in extra strength for having a top 25 win, and they beat it was at home, but they beat Oregon, who and Michigan. Listen, Michigan is beating the piss out of people, but they're not playing anybody. This
garbage schedule.
But this weekend, they got a chance to add on to that. And then Georgia just beat Missouri, who's still in the top 25. Florida State hasn't beaten the top 25 team in my poll because LSU's not top 25 anymore. But they do have the most Power 5 wins because they only played one non-Power 5 team. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was Power 5. And like I was telling Jason, with LSU, I get to how they look and they offense. We would say, if LSU played XYZ, they would beat them on the field. But would we say that same thing if Vandy had their schedule? Same results? No, they wouldn't be in the top 25 because it's Vandy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes, it's like when you're undefeated Power 5, you're good. But when you start losing, you need that emblem on the side of your helmet.
Yeah, and then I would assume then probably what you're thinking then is you're waiting to see what the hell does Michigan do against Penn State is probably where you're sitting.
So that's what I'm saying. So if Michigan beats Penn State, that's only a second loss for Penn State. Penn State will still be in my top 25. They'll have extra credit for beating the top 25 team, so they could even rise. But right now, number 5. You know what I mean? But Jason, I got about 25-30 minutes, my man. My wife.
Let's get out.
My wife wanted me to run to the store.
Ooh, hey,
I was listen, man. Hey, happy house, happy spouse, happy house.
That's right. Happy wife, happy life. That's the whole.
Listen, I was gonna call y'all from the grocery store.
He's in the produce section giving out some produce here.
Yeah, man.
That's what it is, man. Let's go ahead and pop these up on the screen then. Let me go to this. 25 to 21. Okay, well, we'll just do it like this. Obviously, guys, going through Coach I's CFP rankings. Top 25 Toledo, Tulane, Air Force stays in the top 25, even though they got drugged last week by Army.
They
22
did.
Fresno State, and then 21 is Tennessee. They're still sticking in there.
Hanging around, man. Hopefully Missouri beats them this weekend. I'm actually rooting for Missouri, man.
Wow.
I want to double clinch the East. I want it doesn't matter if we win or in Missouri wins, then we clinch the East. But I want us both to win. I don't hate Missouri. I don't like Tennessee.
I get it. Going to number 20 is Utah, number 19 Mizzou, 18 North Carolina, 17 Iowa, 16 Oregon State.
Listen, if Iowa's over under, bruh, I want to say it's like 28 this weekend. Like, bruh,
it's so bad.
Hey, take the under.
Take the under. That's so crazy. At 28, you're saying it still. It's wild though. It's wild. All right. And then listen, there's some big games coming up this weekend though too. You've got Utah. Utah is playing isn't it Washington, right? Washington. So that's a big game. The one thing I'd say is that I don't think that their defense at Washington's a whole lot better than that one over there at USC. So
that's true. That's true.
You could see Utah if they're able to kind of smack them in the mouth, they could stay in this game.
Listen, the spread's only like 13, I think.
I was fixing to say it can't be much. It can't be much. So okay, so that's let's get down to the top 15. And you've got Oklahoma at number 15, dropping from number 7 a week ago in this poll. Kansas right below them. Then Oklahoma State, Liberty at 9-0.
Hanging on.
They are hanging on. You know, that's one thing they did pretty good was recruiting while old boy was there. They were,
You know, and then once Hugh Freeze left, Jamie Chadwell, who was at Coastal Carolina winning all those games, ended up taking the job at Liberty.
yeah, Coastal Carolina was pretty
He's
good.
doing a
there.
hell of a job. He's doing a hell of a job at Liberty.
Oh yeah, he's a good coach, man. He did a good job at Coastal too.
They got a lot of resources at Liberty too. I'll tell you that too.
Mhm. We'll go 10-7 now, and you've got Louisville, Oregon, Penn State, and Bama. Now, obviously, you go ahead.
I was about to say Louisville probably been the biggest shocker. Not shocker because they're not good, but shocker because nobody expected them to be 8-1. But they didn't. I want to say of their 12 games, only 8 teams, only 4 teams of the 12 coming into the season were over 500 last year.
Right.
The
thing is, if they get a game at home, and I still think that they can
beat Florida State.
Yeah, if they get you at home, you're toast though.
Oh, for real.
And I still think they could beat Florida State possibly. I mean, if they're going to end up going into this, it looks like it's just those two, right, for the ACC title, right, JJ?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's more than likely it's going to be Louisville. They beat. I think they beat Virginia tonight. So it looks like it's going to be Florida State and Louisville, which I think will be a good game. But I think Florida State will take care of business in that one, man.
They both got to travel about the same amount, I guess you would say, to Charlotte to get to the championship. So, Florida State, I don't know. Louisville hasn't been to the championship, so maybe their fans are riled up. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they outshine Florida State's fans. But Florida State does travel pretty decent.
I just like Jeff Braun more than I like
Mike Norvell.
Mike Norvell, yeah.
Yeah. So, top 6, here it is. You've got number 6, Texas, horns down. Everybody throw them horns down. 5 is Michigan, 4 Florida State, 3 Coach I's Dogs, number 2 Washington, and number 1 Ohio State.
That's right, man. We might have some movement this weekend, depending on what Michigan, Penn State do, depending on what the Dogs, Ole Miss do, depending on what Texas and who they play this week.
They've got TCU.
TCU. I mean, I think Texas is a better team, but that doesn't always matter.
State too, but
yeah, exactly. And like you just pointed out, Washington, Utah. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that Washington they have not looked the same since they really have not looked the same since the whole since they beat Oregon. They hadn't been very good. Aside from last week when everybody scores like that on SC. We know that.
Yeah. I think that the good thing for them is they get Utah at home instead of having to travel to Rice Eccles.
That's true.
So
and they should win. They should win. I think that the one thing you can say is that they've had a hell of a good quarterback play going on, and they've got an amazing receiving room. If they can get the running game going, it's going to help them. But that's going to be the hard part. Is that I think Utah's trenches, what they do in the trenches, that's going to be what's tough on them. So. I don't think it's a walkover at all, for sure. Right?
No, and you know how I feel about the wide receiver room. They got enough to spare to some other teams, but McMillan, their second best wide receiver, hasn't played in 3 games. So
he sure hasn't. That's right.
If he comes back, but you were right. Their offense has been kind of like not the same since the Oregon game. But hey, what better way to get your offense back on track than to play the Trojans?
Yeah. USTJ was in here a few minutes ago, so he knows how we feel.
Hey, listen, man, Bumbo feels the same about he's been on both our streams talking the same thing, and he's a big USC fan, man.
He's funny, man. He's a trip.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, man.
Smack. Look, it's our OU fans. Fred says got carried away thinking it could be like Bob's second year. Look. We've talked about this. The goalposts change. They moved a little bit. When you beat Texas and you start off 7-0, that is what you're going to be thinking.
Yeah, it's natural. It's a natural response.
Yeah, and look, here's the thing, and this is where we are right now with Oklahoma. Is you have to be looking at you're still building on what's next. We're going to see what happens with Lebby in that. I don't know what's going to happen. I've heard some different things around that. Hinting towards he may not be hanging around, and I think it may be up to him. These are all rumors, though, coming from different folks around Oklahoma. But I don't know that that's what you want, because I don't think that you want to see. I don't even think you want to mess around with Jackson Arnold leaving. because
Other recruits too.
and I really,
Other offensive recruits too, man.
That's
Like
right.
don't underestimate the OC leaving if you don't already have an OC in place. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Yeah.
they do, and I think they kind of do though. And if JJ made the prediction that you would be going and getting Sean Lewis,
Yeah.
I think that Seth Luttrell probably gets the job. I think
Okay.
that he's already there on the staff as an analyst right now. He's working with them as it is. He runs a similar offense himself, was really, really good at North Texas. That you've even, there's some other guys that could get it. I don't think that you have a huge drop off there if you stick with those guys. Now, Sean Lewis, I also agree that he's got a very similar offense too, and he's done very well both as a head coach and, I mean, hell, this is the only thing they really got to say at Colorado.
What happened with Luttrell at North Texas? How did he end up as an analyst on? I didn't even know that at Oklahoma. What a steal for Oklahoma,
bro! That is a story, and it's. I don't want to start telling it because I don't have all the details in front of me, and I'm telling you though, it's nutty.
Wow, I'll have to look that up. He was a hell of a football. He was a hell of a head coach there.
Hell yeah, dude! Seth Luttrell's he's a hell of a coach. At what they did, I don't know. It's really crazy. I really think it's crazy.
Just a score update, JJ. You said that the Louisville game, it's not over. You know that, right?
It's not?
No, Louisville's down 21-17.
Are you serious?
Holy cow.
Yeah, fourth quarter, 11-15 left.
Yeah.
Holy
at home.
shit.
At home.
Wow. So let's just to wrap
big games. Let's do some big games. Let's do some big games.
It's a big game. Just to wrap this up, anybody? So JJ, what do you think about this top six here?
I was telling Coach beforehand. He has a great point about Michigan's schedule. I thought for me personally, I'd have had Washington out at number 5. My first initial reaction, having Georgia at 2, Florida State at 3, and then Michigan at 4. But I'll tell you what, Coach had some really good points about Michigan's schedule. So actually, I like it the way it is. And then if you have Michigan win against Penn State, they throttle them especially.
That may change
them move in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks good, to be honest with you. I liked, first off, by the way, from the top 25 at the bottom there, I love the respect to Toledo, Air Force, those teams. I mean, honestly, what's criminal is that James Madison should be allowed to be ranked, but the NCAA is screwing them, to say the least. So
yeah,
I love the respect.
And I had them in the top 25 actually at like number 8 because they were undefeated, because I was holding out for their appeal. They were trying to appeal their probationary period, but day before yesterday, the NCAA came out and was like, nah, you got to wait 2 years, bro. So I ended up taking them out this week after the ruling came out. So
that's about right.
Yeah, but I love the respect. I love that in the 20 to 25 range. I love that.
What are you guys' thoughts on what's going on? Do you think that it affects Michigan, what's happening? I'm under the opinion that it really doesn't, but
I don't think it does.
You mean like on the field?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think some of those guys kind of getting to the point where they want to play the bad guy anyway. So you know what I'm saying?
They love it.
Yeah. I honestly think they're gonna beat. I think they might hammer Penn State.
I think they're gonna throttle them, man, because that Drew Aller, he's struggling at Ohio State, man.
Yeah, and they won't really let Drew Aller loose, man. They keep him bottled up, bro. That dude got an arm, and he just like James Franklin coaches not to lose instead of coaching to win. So I think Michigan gonna hammer them dudes, bro.
Because I think Michigan's more physical. I think
they are too. And it's at Happy Valley though, isn't it?
It is, but still.
It's a day game. It's not a night game.
That's exactly.
Crazy. It's a day game.
Exactly. It's a noon game. It's the noon game. Yeah, it's the big noon kickoff.
Wow. No. Yeah, they're gonna beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, I think so, dog. I think they want to show everybody. Everybody's been talking about them. Oh, you couldn't have won all these games without sign stealing, yada yada yada.
And I mean, we're going to get into that a little bit too. And since we're already talking about it, let's just do that here in just a second. But I mean, really, it's everybody is trying to steal signs all the time. I mean, let's just be real about this here.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're crazy. You know,
I think the biggest difference is, they paid, the guy paid for tickets and was, at other people's games. Like in game, I don't care. Like in game, if you see me rub my nose and we run the ball right, you're like, hey man, every time Coach I rub his nose, he's going right. That's different. And then you take that, and then you carry that with you anytime we play, looking for me to rub my nose. But if you sending somebody to my game, dog, like what are you so afraid? I'm a competitor, dog. Like what are you saying about your team that you got to do all of that?
Yeah.
No, you're right. No, I'm with you on that. I agree 100%. The thing is that now they fought back, and they I told you last night on the show that now you're hearing that
Purdue.
here you have Michigan coming back and saying, okay, yeah, Purdue, Ohio State, and Rutgers are trading signs that Michigan has. So, I mean, this is not it's not like it's just a one-way street. And if you're colluding with somebody else on the whole deal, I mean, how do you come to this? Yeah, it's just weird to me, man. It's just
like you say, Jason, it's weird, dog. Like, coaches, share in high school, coaches share film. Like, if I'm playing your high school, if you don't, normally we would exchange film, but if you didn't want to give me film, then somebody you played that I'm cool with say, hey man, here's the game where we played against Jason, yada yada yada. Hey, they like to pressure you at the end of the first and second quarter, last 2 minutes, something like that, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I don't want no team to be better than me. I ain't giving you too much now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you that I had to make a switch here. I don't know if you noticed that, but look at number 6. So you got to flip this phenomenon, for God's sakes. Jeez.
Hey, man. It is. Hey, it still looks good on your resume.
It does, but it's still always horny.
It's hard. Yeah. Oh, of course. Come on, dog. Of course. Of course. Come on, dog.
I know I would not see you doing the gator chomp.
Not ever. That's why I'm so big about just handling business yourself, because I don't ever want to have to rely on a rival.
Facts.
So,
Penn State Sharp. Brinsky saying Sharp. Hey,
listen, I'm gonna tell you, Sharp. They got the talent to do so. But I just don't think
they never seem to handle business.
Yeah, they don't have to now. Their receivers, they just okay. I came into the season, thought their receivers a little bit better, but I do believe that Drew Eller and that running game is ferocious. But again, they won't unleash him, man. And it's like,
I just, my biggest thing is that, you look at Drew Aller. I thought he's played good against a number of teams. They've struggled against a couple of teams here and there. Illinois was one of them. But man, against Ohio State, I look at Michigan. I think Michigan's a lot better than Ohio State just because of the physicality, how they can run the football. Mm-hmm. But man, he was 18 of 43 against Ohio State. Man, that is a major red flag. I mean, now here's the thing too. It has a lot to do with play calling too, like you said. They're not letting him cut it loose, which is a major problem. I mean, but I think here that the problem too with that is they have no weapons on the outside. They have Penn State.
Big facts.
Sooner Lemon with the we got to let JJ get out of here. So Sooner Lemon, let me get this chat real quick. UVA is trying to make another TD on Louisville.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Dog.
They're fighting. Hey man, I'll tell you something. For everything that's gone on at Virginia, for them to be able to win any games, and they've beaten North Carolina already. If they go out and beat Louisville tonight, what a freaking way to kind of turn it around after everything that's happened there last year.
Yeah.
Tony Elliott, man. Tony Elliott.
Hey man, starting the season out losing to James Madison at the house.
Yeah. Wild, man.
See, that's what I'm saying. James Madison got that signature win. They can't even play for nothing, dog. Bad. Hey, you know what James Madison said? Okay, if you're gonna be like that, we're just gonna beat the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, might as well just throttle everybody. No mercy rule.
Yeah. So JJ, we're gonna let you get out of here. I know you gotta hop out, but hey, thanks a lot for coming in. Tell everybody how to find you, and thanks again for joining us tonight.
As again, guys, thank you for allowing me to join the show. It was good to see Coach I again too. I missed you, brother. But I'll tell you what, guys, again, if you're watching the show, please hit the like button. These two are the best. That's why I join their shows, because they're so good at what they do. As always, you know the fee. Share. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. That's all we ask. All right?
Right.
So be good. Stay safe out there. Love you both. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, Doc.
Love you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
What do I think OU looks like right now?
Just outside looking in, what's your overall view? I think is what he's getting at. Sounds like.
I think you're headed in the right direction. I think, just to be real, a lot of y'all OU fans, man, not necessarily you, Jason, but a lot of y'all OU fans are getting carried away with the, fire everybody after 2 losses. Dog,
no, and I don't even think still be in here as many of them. I think a lot of people, Lebby didn't help himself when he threw Drake Stoops under the bus.
True that. You know, at the end of the day, I kind of put a lot of what Lebby does and how he acts and how he calls his plays, whatever, that whole thing, I put that a lot on Brent Venables because you gave him too much leeway to, like, I don't know what all was in the deal, but whatever it was too much. Like,
it was too much. And I agree with that. I think that's the whole deal, is that you gave him too much leeway. It was autonomy is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what Jay's talking about. It was full autonomy. That being said, that only works until it stops working. So when it's not working, you need to be able to step up and say, no. And if you don't like the direction of the play calling, because here's the thing, that doesn't mean you can't step in there and help him. Hey, look,
that's what I'm saying. That's what you're supposed to do.
This is what we have to build towards.
Yeah.
In order to beat this defense, you want to be able to do this, and you have to establish yourself doing this, because this is, him being a defensive guy, he should be able to break that down.
Yeah.
This is where he needs that help. And I don't think that Lebby is unsavable. I don't. I think that he's a hell of an offensive coach. They're still top 20 at worst in pretty much every category offensively in the country.
Okay? I think you guys' passing game is good. Definitely better than the run game. I think that's where you could use some improvement. I think the defense is definitely ahead. I say the defense is ahead of the offense. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys held a good Oklahoma State team to 27 without your middle linebacker playing your leader of your defense. I think you got good recruiting coming in, especially in the trenches. I think you're headed in the right direction. I just think, we talked about it and you said it, it's like, it just was with the 7-0 beating Texas, the way you beat Texas.
It moves the goalpost.
It moved the goalpost, because I'm telling you, like, if at the beginning of the season you tell, okay, after 9 games you're 7-2 and a chance to be, 10-2 with the games you got left, you're like, oh, cool, okay, sounds like a good year after a 6-7 year or a 7-6 year, whatever it was. So I think you're headed in the right direction. I think I'm with Jason in the camp of, I don't know, even if Lebby decides to leave, I don't know if that's the greatest thing. I'm not saying Jackson Arnold is definitely leaving if he leaves, but just don't underestimate kids not playing for the emblem. They play for the dog. They have a relationship with these coaches, man, and that's huge.
That's where you saw Caleb leave.
That's the only reason why Caleb left. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like Caleb had to go to USC. I mean, I know, I'm not saying he doesn't like it out there, but he left because Lincoln Riley left. You know what I'm saying? And it was a decision there. He was like, God, I committed to Oklahoma, but really I want to play with the dude that turned me into a Heisman Trophy, or was gonna have a chance to turn me into a Heisman Trophy winner. These kids have these relationships 4 to 5 years in the making before they even get to campus. So it's good that if he does leave, you think it's going to be Latrell, because that's kind of what Clemson does, and BV that's what you do. You learn from where you are
for a reason, and he was killing it. The story from North Texas is pretty wild. And like I said, I'm not going to get into it on here because I don't have all the ins and outs of it. But I know that what I've heard of it is it's unreal that that he wouldn't be there still. Yeah. Unless he took a job, in Power 5 somewhere, which he should. And that being said, I think that he would be I don't know that he wouldn't be an upgrade necessarily, but I don't know how much, what kind of relationship he would have with these guys. He's definitely got some kind of relationship with them because he's there as a
exactly.
He's an analyst right now. So yeah, I think that there's an opportunity there. But Fred, I think you're right here. Anderson and Helms saying that the problem was execution. Experience takes care of inconsistency. Listen, They need to catch. Nick Anderson needs to catch footballs. Stop dropping footballs. And that's you saw a lot of that. You see a lot of these games that we want to blame a lot of this stuff on Jeff. It has been some drops going on there. There is some execution issues. Now, I'm not going to blame Drake Stoops. We wouldn't have been in the game if it wasn't for Drake Stoops. Yeah. So, and so I don't understand that one. But I do think that execution is just as much a part of it as coaching.
Always, because as fans, all we see is the drop ball. All we see is the wrong route or the overthrow. But we'll see, us get stopped behind the line, and we're like, oh man, it was a bad play call. Well, Georgia had one of those Saturdays. We put in Brock Vandegrift one play on the 10-yard line. We tried to do a quarterback, keeper. Well, it was more of a zone read, and he kept it. At the initial time, if you look at it, you're like, God, man, that was such a crazy play. Carson Beck was red hot. But if our lineman gets his one block, Brock Vandegrift walks into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? So somebody missed the block. But, for all you going forward, again, I think, be just like have realistic expectations about 2024. Anything from 8-4 to 11-1 is definitely on the table, and it's not because you may not be better than some teams, but that the trench work is real in the SEC.
Hold on, no, you're not wrong. I know
and
that.
And it's not just one game. It's the fact that you have to do it every single week. You know what I'm saying? Like you may have to play Texas, turn around and play LSU, turn around and play Bama, turn around and play. You know what I'm saying? It's like week after week after week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you start thinking about next year's schedule. We know what it is as far as the in-conference schedule, and you've got your home games are Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, and you've got road games against LSU, Auburn, and Ole Miss.
Because I can tell you this: win or lose against Bama, what you don't want the week after Bama is Texas.
Right.
You
right.
You don't want that because you may be better than Texas, but you just, they may be coming off of a Vandy weekend and you're coming off of an Alabama weekend, and you like, and teams will tell you, man, and coaches too, like, man, that Bama Georgia like hangover is real, not because you lost, but because of how physical they play.
And you guys are in Austin next year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're in Austin and in Tuscaloosa. How about that?
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got a brutal schedule. We don't have to play the Gamecocks, but we still got Florida, still got Auburn, still got Tennessee, and then we got Bama and Texas. So that's what I'm saying. Like it don't get, and we got Ole Miss again and Mississippi State. So it's like it doesn't get easy week after week. And then just when you think you play a Mississippi State, and you like, man, they ain't that good. You're like, why are we struggling with Mississippi State? Because they have trenches. They might not have good wide receivers, but they got trenches.
Yeah. That's the whole thing is they're going to definitely build there, but the skill guys, they don't have as many good skill guys, or they're missing something here on defense or something. And Kim, I will agree. We agree with you on this. We were saying that it's just as much. I think that was exactly what I said. Just as much responsibility falls on the players. Now, that being said, and they were saying that was what they said. I was just kind of piggybacking off of what Nick said. I want to see him stop dropping the football. But I agree with you. I think that overall that the play calling is completely uneven at best. It's not. A lot of it just lacks. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to some of it. I mean, the whole going into
maybe there's no rhythm. There's
no
rhythm.
And when you're, my thing is I don't want to see you get gimmicky when you're running right over them. You don't need to do anything special there. Just go and run the plays, the normal plays that you've been running. That was already working, particularly on that drive that we're talking about, their second drive in the first quarter. I mean, that changed the complexity of the game. It could have been. They could have been a 99-yard touchdown run instead, or a 99-yard touchdown drive. Instead, you give the ball back to them. They end up with an 11-yard drive. So you got no points, and then your defense is.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, Jason, but I got about 15 minutes to get to the store. I just want to say this to Kim's point. As a coach, execution, we can only control it in practice. We can go over it. And if you get it right in practice, we're good. But once you get in between those lines on game day, I can't make you run the right way. I can't make you run. I can't make you not round off that out route. I can't make you take that curl route deep enough. You have to actually execute that. But getting them ready to execute, that is on the OC. I will agree with that. But once it gets game time,
him just throwing Stoops under the bus like that wasn't
like as a coach, you don't do that though. Like you do that when you get in the film room. You like, man, look, you're making me look bad. That's like, you know what I'm saying? But you don't do that in front of, hey man, you don't trash family in front of friends. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. So,
hey man,
you get out of here and go handle business for mama. Appreciate you coming on, man. Tell everybody how to find you.
Hey man, y'all know what it is. Fanatic Sports, man. YouTube, Facebook, IG, me and Jason get down, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Saturday night snap count, 10:30 Eastern time on the Fanatic Sports channel, man. Y'all be easy.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you. And appreciate you for the rankings too, man. Coach I, Fanatic Sports Network. Appreciate that. Him coming in. Yeah, listen, guys. I'll tell you, a lot of this, and we can go ahead and keep talking about that. We'll kind of get into some of this other stuff, I guess. But look, you got to be careful what you wish for here. You really do. I think that Seth is a good safety valve. I think somebody called him a second ago. I think you're right about that. But I also would tell you that you don't know what that's going to do to this recruiting class. I think that you're going to keep enough of it together that it should be okay. But at that point, then you're looking at you've got to go to either a freshman in Michael Hawkins, or you better, and DG's gone then for sure. He's only there because of Jeff. So the hope would be that you got to hope that, and look, I also, there's a side of me that says you don't want to just keep a guy around just because you might lose players over it, right? You don't want to do that. That being said, this is a 5-star we're talking about, man. Yeah. And look, Fred, that's exactly how I feel. This is what I've been saying. I don't like the play calling either. I think it's too gimmicky for my taste. Chris has been saying that from the Horns Down podcast, which we'll also be on right after that for a quick one, at least before we go to the snap count. That is a night game. So we may actually just kind of integrate those two or whatever. But Chris and I will at least go on for a few minutes and talk about that on our channels as well. So we'll have our post-game reaction show after that's over with. I think moving forward this week, I think there's something you really want to see out of them is that you definitely you're going to have to stop the run. You want Garrett to have to beat you with the arm. I think that's the main thing that they got to be looking at coming in. It's starting to look like we're going to get Danny back this week, Danny Stutzman, which is, that's obvious. That's always, that's a welcome. That's definitely welcome. Kip Lewis, I think that you saw that he's ready to play more, though. I think you're going to see a lot more of him moving forward. And I think that really, look, it might not be bad to, when you need to spell Kanak or whatever, I think you need to have him in. But Kanak still just looks lost a lot of times out there. I want him to continue getting better as well. I think he's going to be really good in his time. I think he's probably a year away from it. But the amount of time he's gotten on the field this year should be good for his development as well. But he's got to get it better. He's just got to get better. Yeah. Let's take a look at these likes. 23 likes. Yeah, we're down to 26 people. So, but we've had quite a few viewers. Yeah, that's so important, guys, just to do that more than anything else. Yeah, Sawchuck and White. That's the other thing. Yeah. Huge chunk runs on one play, but they didn't run it enough. No, I agree with that. That's where I struggle to understand what the plan is, or what is it that he's trying to accomplish. And it feels to me like there's not a real goal in mind, and it can't just be outscore the other team. We know that. But what is it that you're trying to exploit? It makes me feel like he doesn't really know. Because Sawchuck had 13 carries. 13 carries. Almost, and I want to know, I don't think he had more than one or two in the second half. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I just don't understand it. All tied up, Louisville coming back. Yeah. Yeah, spy the running quarterback, and as long as he doesn't do what Bowman did and just pull it and throw the short one. Yeah. I think that they're going to have a harder time with Danny back if he is back in deep. I think the most important thing to do is the defense is going to do its part. I think that they're not above making mistakes or, giving up plays or whatever like that, because we've seen that. And I think that you can say regression, but I would almost say that it's a lot of it is that, over the course of a season, you're going to have some of those things that you're going to make some mistakes. What I would tell you is that they need the help of the offense to not go out there and get a bunch of 3 and outs right away. Right? The offense needs to start fast. Get the crowd into the game. Jump ahead. Get out there and put pressure on that West Virginia team that they can't just slow that game down and hand the ball off left. And because here's the thing, and you'll see on the preview that I'm going to put out here as soon as I'm done with this. Look, the best thing about West Virginia is that offensive line. They've got a ton of experience there. They're big. They're all juniors and seniors on the West Virginia offensive line. So they know what to do. And if you look at the first few games of the year, they almost didn't throw the ball at all. Very few times were they throwing the ball. They were content just to let that clock run. If you get into a game like that with them, that's not the place that Oklahoma plays well at. And you end up with your defense on the field for a long time, you're going to gas them out. You've got to get out there and be aggressive on offense and go get touchdowns early. Get ahead. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It has been. The main thing is, though, and I think that works well as long as you do the things like what we talked about for the Red River game. What were the keys? Win the first 2 minutes of each half. And win the last 2 minutes. They did both of those things. They won the football game. You got to do the same thing here. But you need to win that first 2 minutes. I love being able to, kick at the start of the game so you get the ball after the half. I almost feel like getting the ball first, if that were to happen somehow in this game, I don't care. Go out and freaking score now. Put pressure on them immediately. Because, 24 points, that's not good for an Oklahoma offense. And there's no way and that's obviously the other thing. You cannot allow to have too many turnovers. You can't have turnovers, man. It's not going to happen. Yeah, and Green he's a good runner. They saw that last year. You saw that in Morgantown a year ago. That when he got in the game, he was able to hit those edges. The one good thing is that you hadn't seen a ton of that. Aside from the Kansas game, whenever they let Bean get out of the pocket and run down for that touchdown, he had a good game. But they've done better with running quarterbacks than they've done in a long time if you're thinking about it, guys. Yeah. I think that Dylan has done that this year. But I think that Lebby needs to turn Dylan loose and let him go cook. If you're not going to let him cook, then get him out of the kitchen. If you're not going to let him cook, then get him out. Because it makes no sense to not run him. Yeah. Well, that's two of the turnovers were on that. Two of the turnovers were on that. Look, and I know that, and I even said it last week. For the first time, I kind of got after Dylan a little bit. I want to see him be on time with his throws because he's not a big arm dude. He can underthrow you. But I feel like he does that because he's holding the ball too long. His timing, he's got to be perfect on those deep routes. You should not have those guys coming back to get the ball. But that makes you, as soon as they get into their break, if you're running a fade route, it starts straight and then you fade it out to the sideline. That break, he should be throwing it right then because that's when you know whether they beat him or not. And you have to throw them open. You cannot have them coming back for the football. Now, that being said, 2 of those should have been interferences that, when Farouk had to come back to the ball. But then you have the one where he hit Nick in stride and he dropped it. Can't have it. Cannot have it. It is getting better with them, but they do look. In the end, I think that they need to make Dylan a runner because as good as he's completed 70. He's still completing more than 70% of his passes, which is really good in comparison. Green's at like 50%, 52%, I think is what it is. You know, in the end, you need to let him go do what he does. One of the things that's good about Dylan Gabriel is that he can run the football, you know, and timely runs. And you can actually design QB run, and he can go get you 15, 20 yards. He can. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Stog. Yeah, look. Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you. I think Hank said it best at the in the post game last week. He said, you know, Stogg's missing blocks like it's his job. I don't know what's up with him, man. I don't know what's up with him. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, if they're not going to call it, yeah, I mean, look, you can't be late. You cannot be late. But if they don't even respect him, respect that play of him running at all, they're gonna cover up everybody. You got to at least make it. It's like I was talking about last week. I think that you need to try to test that secondary. Now, West Virginia's secondary is very good, but you have to test. Last week, you should have tested OSU's secondary early and often, going downfield over and over again, because they're not good in the secondary. They're not. Unless they're, you know, holding on to you. Yeah. He doesn't throw a ton of picks. He doesn't look, he's only had 5 all season. You know? But look, win the turnover battle is definitely going to be important here, because I don't think that they're going to give you the ball. I don't think they're just going to give it away a bunch at West Virginia either. But you got to put it in Green's hands and make him have to throw it. If you can stop him from running the ball, and when you put 8 or 9 guys in the box, they're going to have to throw. They're going to have to. So, again, I think it's, as much as anything, it's on the offense to help the defense here. I think you got to go out and put pressure on this team. They've got one of the best corners in the country, though. Beanie. The dude's a stud. That being said, he can only cover one guy. So go out there and handle it. Mm-hmm. Right. Trent, you're out of your freaking mind. It is not better than OU's. This is why there's no way you're coming on this show, dude. You're crazy. They didn't do anything. They didn't stop Oklahoma once. Oklahoma stopped themselves a bunch. The only thing that they did was freaking hold on. You got to have better thoughts than that. Come on, man. Y'all won the game. Good for you. Thank you, Neilio, for the super chat. Doggy treats. Yeah. Hey, he's getting huge, man. And I bought him some bully sticks the other day. Yeah, he's been doing good, man. Norm treats. Yeah, Trent lost his damn mind. Yep. Okay, let me get into these last couple things. All right, so some of these must-watch games for this week. Where was that at? Yeah. It's not tough to pamper our pets. No, man. He's old Norman. He's got it pretty made. He likes staying over there at the house with my mom while she's been here. She's enjoyed it. Nobody's making excuses either, dude. You got your win. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. You know damn good and well what happened in the game. And if you can, I mean, let's be real about what it was. You're gonna sit there and tell us that the secondary at OSU is better than Oklahoma's. Have you paid attention to who's leading in interceptions in the country? It sure is an OSU. Don't be ridiculous. They won the game. Good for them. Go look at the freaking defensive ratings. That's all you got to do. Oh my, see. All right. Watch film, brother. Watch film. Good grief. All right, week 11 games. Let's see. Must-watch games. The biggest must-watch games of the week, I believe. The biggest one, I think it's probably the Michigan-Penn State game. As far as it's definitely going to kind of straighten a few things out. That, of course, being that early game, 10 o'clock, or it'd be the big noon game, noon Eastern time, 11 in Oklahoma. The other ones, there's some pretty big games out there. Let's see. Definitely that. I mean, for us OU fans, I think you're going to want to watch that Oregon USC game. That's a late game. But then that Tennessee Missouri game is big as far as that SEC East battle. Washington Utah, I think, is another one of those games that would go into that contenders on upset alert right there, because Washington right now is on the verge of being, in the playoff. But I almost feel like they still got to win out, because they could lose right here, and that's pretty much going to end their season. As far as they could probably still get into the Pac-12 championship game, but they're going to need to win that game. And I think that's a tough win right there. Their defense isn't a whole lot better than SC's. It's just not. So that's a big one there. That one I would file under the upset alert deal. Ole Miss at Georgia. That's a must-watch game. They are that's a 5:30 game. 7:30 Eastern time game. No, 7 Eastern time game on ESPN. It's in Athens, though. I think that my feeling is this: the next time that they win a big game with Lane Kiffin will be the first time that they've won a big game with Lane Kiffin. So they were saying on that, what is it, the necessary roughness with that stupid Brandon Walker guy, that that they've won some big games this year. Which ones? Are we saying A&M's a big game? Because okay. I think it's wild. But that's definitely another one of those must-watch games. Sneaky good one to watch. Sneaky good game to watch would be, I think, Florida LSU. I think LSU should win. It's in Death Valley, but that's a big rivalry game between them. I think you can see Florida get up for it, although Florida has struggled on the road. So my expectation is that LSU more than likely wins that one pretty easily. And now, of course, you have to wonder whether or not you're going to get that guy back or not. If you're going to get Daniels back or not. He's in concussion protocol. I don't know if they will. So that could change things up a little bit. Then you've got, I mean, probably want to keep up with the Texas A&M and Mississippi State game if you care at all about A&M, because I think that if they come close to losing this game, even Jimbo has to go. I don't know why they wouldn't have fired him anyway, but is there any way that you put up with that if you're Texas A&M, them losing at home to Mississippi State with the Pirate gone? Nah, no way. No way. Let's see. Duke, Carolina, another one of those sneaky good games to watch. I almost would pick Duke on this one just because I think Carolina is reeling at this point, right? Tennessee, Mizzou is another big one. Yes. Like that one, Kim. You see Mizzou winning that. Now, that could get Josh in a lot of trouble if he loses this game. I think I'd see him in a lot of trouble. Let's see. Oregon State, Stanford, no. Auburn, Arkansas. Man. Tennessee, Mizzou. Yeah, now that's a 3:30 game, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. I guess it is it's in Columbia though, right? I think Mizzou could win that one too. I think they should win that one. The thing is that the good thing about, believe it or not, Heupel and them put a defense out there. They're great in the trenches too right now. So I think that's the biggest deal. What were we talking about? Ollie? Yeah, he's a beast. But he wasn't the reason that they won. He wasn't the reason. Yeah. So do you have YouTube TV there, Neilio? I'll tell you, the YouTube TV is pretty cool because you can have the picture-in-picture stuff and watch a few games, up to 4 of them. So it's pretty. I've really enjoyed that. I don't even have a affiliate deal with them. So, but I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's I don't know if any of the other ones are doing that or not, but the YouTube TV is not too bad. It's not too bad. Ole Miss, Georgia. I don't know, man. I just don't think that Ole Miss does it. And like I said, I think that Lane. I like Lane. I think he's a heck of a coach. But I tell you what, he wins that game, he won't be at Ole Miss next year. You were clowning Ollie for flopping. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on last week too. Fake injuries and being back in on the next play. Bunch of crap. Yeah, no, it's not very good. College football net. It's not. It isn't. They had a lot of interference calls that weren't called their way, but it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. There were turnovers and some of that other stuff, but they didn't stop Oklahoma. Oklahoma stopped themselves a bunch. Ollie Gordon, easily the best running back in the country. Yeah, I think he's explosive, man. The dude's, but he's not really what hurt him either. He had a couple of big runs, but he came in averaging 200 over the last 6 games. I mean, the guy, he definitely, they were able to slow him down more than you. And that was enough. The main thing is that you wanted them to have to beat you with Alan Bowman. And it really wasn't Bowman that did it. It was Oklahoma shooting themselves in the foot at times. And then that missed call at the end of the game, in the end zone, getting tackled, a no interference call. But Oklahoma should not have allowed it to get to that point when you have turnovers like that and you have stupid turnovers and some of the bad play calling. You put it in the ref's hands, you get what you get. You get what you get. And good for them for winning, man. Good for him. Good, I'm never going to say that it was right, because it wasn't. But in the end, if you're OU, you need to go out there and handle that. And that's part of the growing process with the new team, when you've got a new coach, new program. I like Oklahoma, but you cannot say OSU was the better, more disciplined team. I can't. No, they were the more disciplined team. More disciplined team. They didn't turn the ball over as much. They got away with a lot of stuff, man. Did you watch that whole game, or you just watched bits and pieces of it? Because they missed 3 pretty egregious offensive or defensive pass interferences, including that last one. They called 2 offensive interferences, or 2 defensive interferences on Oklahoma that should have been on the offensive side. They missed some play. They missed a lot of stuff there, man. And with what's been going on in the Big 12, it was clear what was happening there. In the end, I still would tell you, you're right, that they had some stupid mistakes when you're Oklahoma, stupid play calling. There was a lot of stuff like that was going on. And even Venables, knowing whether or not he got away with it, on the other side, because Gundy got away with that 12 men on the field. He was out there throwing a fit, and they didn't give him a 15-yard penalty. But Venables should have known better than to go out there, because you already saw what was going on. You don't get that 15-yard penalty if you're there. You just can't do it. And he admitted to that. But so I would agree with you to some extent on that. They have to be more disciplined and do better. But I would love to see them play it again. I guarantee you that Trent and those guys do not want to see Oklahoma again. I guarantee you they don't. But, because he knows how often that's going to go down. Again, you're going to need help, though. You're going to have to hope that Kansas loses to Kansas State, and Texas has to lose another one. Texas is probably there. Do I not like Mike Gundy? Yeah, can't stand the dude. Can't stand him. He's mediocre Mike, man. I'll just answer it this way. Bro, I'm an Oklahoma fan. Why would I like Mike Gundy? I'm not a fan of his. The dude's been talking crazy stuff about, the Bedlam game and, OU and why the Bedlam game's ending. And he is mediocre, man. The dude is mediocre. The call on Vickers was absolute trash. Yes, it was. Yep. College football nut. You're newer to the channel. Who wins the tiebreak between the? I think it would have to go to. It's going to have to go to something different than head-to-head because they're not going to play. That'd be cool. This is Trent, not he. You just went over there and grabbed a different deal. Yeah, I would put that more on Ollie Gordon than I would put that on. Yeah, this has got to be. This is Trent, aren't you? Just say that that's who you are. Come on here agreeing with him. Now you're saying that you're regurgitating stuff that he says in his DMs. Yeah, bro. You're still not coming on the show. Yeah. I think so too. Has even mentioned what? Oh, are you talking about the Tech game? The flags? Yeah. It is what it is, man. What's up, Matt? Welcome to the show, my dude. Oh, Okie Light fan. One of Cody's boys. Not doing any of that anymore. I gave them their props. I gave Oklahoma State their props. Cody can come on the show, but I gave them their props. They handled it. He's a mediocre coach, though, Fred. When it comes to big games, he gags. This is the first time he hadn't. And you start thinking about it, it's so. There's lots of reasons to not like him, first off. A lot of reasons to not like him. The whole I'm 40, I'm a man thing. You know who he was doing that to? A woman. He was screaming at one of those female reporters, and it wasn't about the kid. It was about her questioning their play calling that week. I'm with you there. You're a Mountain West Conference guy, Fred? Where did you graduate from? The pair, yeah. Yeah, wrong pair. I like it though. Yeah. Screw those dudes. Yeah, I knew that was Trent. It was Trent. It had to have been Trent. Go Dogs. I know better. Come on, man. Come on. You can just say who you are. I don't know why. They won't play OU again because if they won, if OU had won, then they would want to play again next season. Yeah, I don't know. Most Georgia fans don't hate that though. College football nut. This one, I don't know, man. Stevie, part of me agrees, but because I think that, but I don't think that that's the case when it comes to Gundy. He doesn't want to play the game anymore because he knows he doesn't win it enough. Think about it. Think about the way he was acting before it, going that K-State was bigger, that K-State and Kansas were bigger games. Get the fuck out of here with that. You know better. There ain't no way. Oh, Midwest City. Oh, yeah. Hey, man, that's awesome. Congratulations, Matt. Third image, 3D image or whatever. Looks like me without the beard. Hey, if it comes out with a beard, dude, that's pretty awesome. Make sure to send us pictures of that. Either way, you got to send us pictures. Congratulations, my dude. How far along? 26 more days till the baby's due. Oh, nice. Okay. December baby. I'm a December baby. I was 27th is my time. That day. I'm a man, I'm 40 thing. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is though, is that everybody acts like he was taken up for his players. And this is where I would tell you that this is where I'm off. And if you wanted to believe all that or whatever, and you thought he was about his team and about his players, but lately, that's not been the way he is. Now, it seems like he's kind of taken that, since he got off the farm deal, but that was forced, I think that's Cody's documented that well, that Weiberg called him over and said, look, after they got beat at Iowa State, it was, either get your ass back in there and figure this thing out, or we're going to figure something else out. He had to. He was fixing to have to go. Yeah, and he's 55 at this point. Hey, if that happens, I need the picture so that we can put it on a shirt in the store here. We'll sell a ton of them. Oh man, that's awesome, dude. Louisville won. Yeah, I figured they probably would. I'm surprised that it was that hard, but I'll tell you, Tony's done a good job over there for everything that's gone on that campus, and after the shooting, that former player going in there and doing that was terrible. Hey, and so that is Trent. Bye. We're not hearing that. He's a freaking mafia member. Bye. Dumbass. Should have known better. How about them Louisville Cardinals? Still in it. They could knock out FSU. I think that they probably could beat us, FSU. I think so. The Bears won? Wow. Man, what a game that one was. That's like, must have been like watching paint dry, Lemon. Is Lebby done? Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about it. I don't know. I think it's kind of signaling that way, don't you think? Yeah, they are. It's not even just there, but yeah, they are. It's I don't know, man. What do you think about that? Yeah, that was like watching paint dry, huh, Lemon? Do you think he's done there? What I'm hearing is that there's different reports around there, but I'm hearing that he's already kind of thinking he's leaving. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do, and I told you guys when it happened. If you think about it, you know, after that SMU game, what is this? DG got busted up in UFC or Texas game and couldn't grip the ball. No, that's not it. That's not what happened, dude. Come on. I think that so you're going after DG and leaving Lebby off the hook is what you're saying there, John? Nope. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that DG's got the biggest arm in the world, because he doesn't. And that's why he has to be on time. We were talking about that. He's got to be on time, because his arm isn't big enough to be late on a deep throw. But he's not hurt. And if he was hurt, that'd give him every reason to put in Jackson Arnold. There ain't no way that's right. No way that's right. Yeah, no, that's the whole thing, and I think that a lot of it had to do with what was going on after the SMU game, when you had Riles down there on the field and everybody threw a shit fit because Parker posted that picture, right? And I also think that Parker and Brandon and those guys are like dubbers. I also think that those guys are kind of pushing this a little further forward too. I'm not a huge Parker Thune guy. You guys know that. Most of you guys know that. He's not hurt. He's not hurt. Bagley. That's silly talk. There are still DG haters out there. And I get it, man. It is, he cannot be late. I like Dylan. But I mean, I'd call a spade a spade. We're not talking about a guy who has a Landry Jones arm or a Jackson Arnold arm or a Kyler arm. We're not. Okay. This is not what you got. But this is why I don't understand why you wouldn't go ahead and run him. Let him run. Let him do the things that he is good at. You know what I mean? You get a lot more open plays down the field if you allow him. Or what could have been interference calls too. Yeah, INT is an interference. Here's the thing, they weren't calling that, so you got to make sure it's on time. And Jackson has a huge arm, absolutely. Do I think Iowa State beats Texas? Yeah, they could. They could, man. They could. Look, I think they upgraded at quarterback whenever what's his name got suspended. Because Rocco Becht is pretty good. He's young. That's not even true. He's thrown good balls. He just didn't, the deep ball, he hadn't thrown great ones. There was a lot of drops last week. Have you watched any games? Did you watch that game? Because Deckers was terrible. Deckers wasn't good before he got suspended. I think they upgraded. Is yours coming back? Swain, don't bring that BS onto here. That's bullcrap. That's not even a real thing. I didn't even bring that up. I don't want that here. Because it's not even real. It's just a rumor. Yeah. If I'd have brought it, I mean, I wouldn't even bring that up in here because it's just a rumor. But Robinson, at what point has he actually like freaking managed the game? It hasn't been good. That's the whole thing. We were just talking about that earlier. I defy you to tell me what you should be able to know what his game plan is and what he's trying to accomplish out on the field. I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, you want to go out there and score a lot of points. What are you trying to do against a specific defense? And there's no way. There's no way. It's all over where. It's all. I've seen it. I've seen a couple of people, and those are those stupid dudes that people that, man, don't trust stuff on Twitter. Have you seen anything from any of the reputable people? You haven't seen it from me. You haven't seen it from freaking JP and Trav. You haven't seen it from even Parker and those guys, and they would absolutely put that out there if they felt like that was real. Yeah, no, I don't think it's real at all. I haven't heard names. I've seen a couple of tweets like that. I haven't heard it from anybody that I trust at all. Getting killed in the SEC. That sounds like an OSU thing, because they're not going to get killed in the SEC. They're recruiting as good as anybody out there. They're not getting killed in the SEC. That probably came from an OSU account out there, Swamster. You're welcome. Let's see. Yeah, it's not real. Yeah, I hope they do play them again. They hope otherwise. No. Yeah, none of those dudes are saying anything. Lebby and Beefy, you didn't forget how to coach. Players got burnt, not the coach. John, when was Lebby great? When has he been great in his play calling? I'm not saying that it isn't partly on the players. Yeah, him saying just like Stoops was an ineligible receiver. Right. They've got talent coming in. The talent will be there. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been. He hasn't. Look, here's the thing. I don't even care. I'm not saying that they need to pull the plug on him. I'm not. I think that there needs to be a real come to Jesus talk, though. And I think he needs to go to work on learning to call a game and prepare for a game and have a game plan, to have goals and what you're running to achieve those goals. I don't want to see you running gimmicky plays when you haven't needed to. Oklahoma State didn't make us stop. Sooner girl. Or is that Swain? What in the hell is this? You know what he was talking about, Swain. Quit busting chops in here, man. He's a good OC, not a great one. I think he's learning. He's young. He's new at it, which is the same thing that you would probably say about BV too. He's still new at being a head coach. There's still a learning curve there. I'm not saying to pull the plug on him. I am hearing that it's possible that he may be leaving, though. That I am hearing. And then in that case, chances are you lose Jackson Arnold too. So look, I'm not ready to just pull the plug on that yet. I think it could be worked out. And it should be worked out if you can, right? Young team, young staff. Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's right, Kim. Correct. I agree. And that's the thing. I want and beg for Seth Luttrell to be the OC. Matt Wells, too. I think Matt Wells is another good one, too. Yep. No, it would never be booty time. When he somehow didn't make it to the Red River game last year, I think that was it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I wish that I believed that, Matt. I think that he likes OU. I think that he probably has some kind of a relationship with Wells, and the same with Latrell. But yeah. Oh, nobody's saying that, John. Nobody's saying that. I agree with you 100,000%. Where, yeah, those guys can stay gone. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that he would stay around. That being said, if you guys have watched Michael Hawkins at all, he's the real deal. He's going to be the real deal. Need a W this week, and no, not content as a fan at all. However, this team needs to finish strong. Boomer, you're right. Not content is what he was saying. Yep. Yeah, he needs to do that. He kind of is. He was, I would say that he was. I don't think he had committed to Ole Miss yet, but they were right up there. He was probably going to go to Ole Miss, but he's kind of entrenched here. I can see why people think that he might stay too. And with Latrell and, Wells on staff, you've got guys on staff that would probably take over running the same kind of thing. And knowing that you're going to start at Oklahoma next year, if you're just here, I think that it's not beyond the realm of possibility that he would stay. And I also think I think it's less likely that he goes too. Now, have you watched much of Hawkins though, Matt? I'm telling you, you should go watch some of his stuff. He has a cannon. And on top of that, you want to talk about a guy that can break you out on the reason that we're getting that stud tight end is because of Hawkins too. He wants to play with Mike. Again, you don't want to play a freshman though, if you don't have to. But it is what it is. Got to have some patience, right? I can't think of it. Are you talking about did he finally commit there? Let me look at this, because I think Hawkins is the guy, man. His dad played 12 years in the league too, man. Just he's got the pedigree for sure. 6'4". Who are you talking about? Is he committed? I'm terrible with this. Team rankings. Oh, Zerberg. He's not as good as Hawkins, man. No way. He's not as good as Hawkins, bro. Zerberg, yeah. Rolling pocket with DG would be nice. Yeah, it would. Mm-hmm. Sooner season 101. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I think she might have been trying to take a shot at Swain, maybe. Michael Trigg. Let me see. I haven't seen anything on him. think Xavier Robinson is probably one of the bigger gets, and they're still showing him as a 3. That dude is unbelievable, though. Eli. I didn't realize that he had went ahead and committed. That's good. No, and listen, here's the good thing about it is no matter what, you have to have some depth in there, as we saw last year, right? We definitely need that. But he isn't with Ole Miss anymore. Why is he not a take? Okay. How come? So yeah, the guys that they've got committed now, man, nobody's really been talking about it either, though. But old Zion Reagans, that speed guy, another fast dude out of Georgia. He's little though. Eugene Brooks, that's a big one. Man, yeah, they look better and better all the time, man. Stoney and Taylor Tatum. Zion Kearney. Nigel. Nigel's my favorite one out of this whole group, man. I'm excited that Nigel's going. Yeah. Swain, you know better. You know damn good and well that you hope to hell that you don't have to see OU again. You know that. Don't even try that. You know damn good and well. Are you going to really sit here and underestimate the gag reflex of Mike Gundy on this show? All right, guys. What do we think of Sperry? I think he's really good, man. I think he's really good, Coconut Greg. I think he's really good. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. I'm praying for it for sure. I hope the hell it happens. But I think you're bluffing, bro. Bluffing. Oh man. Yeah, and now see, I think he's already moved up a class though, but he's a junior right now at Carl Albert, correct? He's going to be a 5-star. The thing is he's not a camp guy, and that's what you guys got to realize that some of these guys, and the same with Hawkins. Hawkins would be a 5-star. Nope. There's no way. And so Trent came in with another. You think we don't realize like who is usually on the channel and who's not? Sooner Season 101. I don't buy you. No better. All these fake Okie Light accounts coming in here. And I think Trent's had 2 of them now. Yeah. The Bricks recruitment. Mm-hmm. I know. You're not wrong there. I think he really doesn't know what he wants to do. They don't do camps, and that's the whole thing. I think because man, that's a lot of it has to do with that if they're paying to go to those camps, whether they're going to give them that 5-star or not, I think a lot of it is. I think he really doesn't know what he wants to do yet. No way, 3 and 5. Who's the 5 teams you think they're going to lose to? Wow. Bye, Trent. Sick of this dude. All right. I can't predict 2 weeks from now as it is 2024. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what he's doing. The good news in that first year in the SEC, most of those teams are going to have new quarterbacks. OU probably will as well, but you know. I think if you're going to beat Alabama, it's good that you probably get them at home. I think that's a tough one. That if you're going to, the losses that I see maybe I could, in 3 and 5, they're, no, that's not it. I could see them being, I'm guessing 8 and 4 is probably a pretty good record for them, no matter what next year in that first year there, because you're going to have to adjust. I really feel like 2025 is their year that they're going to be big, that they're going to have a big deal, a big season, chance to win the whole thing. He's just trolling, guys. He's just trolling. Just trolling. Yeah, Carl Albert is. Yes, it is. And I mean, look, we know that here's the deal on that one too. When you start looking at Xavier Robinson, and go watch some of his film, the dude looks like kind of like AD, big, strong, and fast. And another Carl Albert guy, unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. And he's a 3-star, but he doesn't go. I'm going to have to pull it up and look at it. Off the top of my head, they're going to beat the hell out of South Carolina. They'll beat Tennessee at home. If they're going to lose one of their home games, let's see, it was who other than Alabama is on there too for the home games. What's up, Coach? I'd love that. That'd be great. That'd be great. I could see them. I think they'll probably beat Ole Miss. I think they'll probably beat Auburn. Those are road games, though. But I think that they should win those. I think that it'll be 5-3. I think they'd be 5-3. LSU away, they lose. Yeah, I think they lose that. I don't. It's hard to expect anybody to go into Death Valley and win. So, yeah, I agree with this too. I don't see that happening. That's a good question, Swamster. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you told me to pick a bunch of them, but then you don't pick them, and then now you're running on. Yeah, whatever, bro. Bye. Bama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and home Red River. That's right. Yeah, so there's only 3. That's right. Right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, Coconut. There's no way that Riley accepts that game. They won't. It won't happen at all. Headed up that way. You said 3 and 5, so give me the losses. Whatever, bro. Tennessee, South Carolina, Texas, Missouri. I think Mizzou's going to be one of those all the time games, right? Yeah, I think so too. I think 5-3, 6-2, something like that. Look, if you go 8 and 4 in that first year, or somehow 9 and 3, be an awesome freaking year. Be an awesome year. Something to build on. First year in the SEC. Look, I think there's going to be an adjustment period, but the other thing I think is that the SEC isn't great right now. The thing is like what Coach I was saying in here earlier. Auburn's probably a toss-up because you have no idea what's happening out on the plains. That's absolutely correct. But it's what Coach I was saying. It's those games when you come off of the Alabama game. They have one right now. It's just one. And because they're still on the 8-game schedule. Apparently, they're going to be revoting that next year for the year after that. They're probably going to go to the 9. It'll be that 3-6-6 model after that. Right now, it's just the Texas is the only one because they're still on that 8 one. But Oklahoma and Texas didn't get to vote for that this year. And had they been able to vote, it would have went that way. And that was Saban that nixed that. He got enough guys to vote with him. And he's always been the one that said that they wanted to go for 9 games. Yeah, I would agree with that. Look, you can't really tell what's going to happen. Any of the home games, you would expect that they could win, right? I would look, go win the game. And look, not to think that Oklahoma's not afraid of Alabama. I don't think they'd be afraid of playing them there. But in the end, it is what it is. But yes, the biggest part of your depth is going to continue to get better after that. And I think 25, that's why I say 25 is the real. I think they're ahead of schedule. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It depends on what one is. They also have one of the top quarterbacks in the country coming in, though, too. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Guys, I got to get out of here. It's time for me to get to my other job. But, hey, I really appreciate everybody coming in. If you haven't already hit that like button, please make sure that you do that, especially you trolls that came in to mess with me. And, you know, Trent, you should have hit it 3 times because you were on 3 different freaking, you know, 3 different accounts. So I hope I had 3 likes from him. But, hey, appreciate you guys all coming in. Yeah, thank you very much again for the super chats there, Neela. Everybody who gave us the super chat, everybody who hit the like button, everybody who hung around with us. Totally appreciate it, guys. Definitely do need that win this weekend. Look, let's get behind them. You guys that are going to be at the game, let's not do any booing or anything like that. That's not like what, you know, Teddy and those guys are saying. That's not going to be helpful. Let's get in there and get after it. And look, I think that they're going to win the game. I think that they'll find a way to come together. I think that it's time to do that, though. You know, but we'll definitely. We'll have Chris and I supposed to be getting together to do a post game. That might run into right around the time I'm supposed to be on the snap count too, so it might be a short one, but we'll do something for sure. As long as Chris is going to be in there. But anyway, yes, we'll definitely see you guys that day. Do look for. I've got a couple of little edits to make, and I'll have my West Virginia preview out here in just a bit. But thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Hey, say you're gonna get some trolls in here, man. This is why you know it's Oklahoma, so it's all good. But welcome, thanks for everybody again for coming into the old woodshed, and we will see you guys on the next one. Hey, make sure you jump over there and check out that coffee deal if you hadn't already. I will pop that back in there as well, and it will be in the it will also be in the description. So it's DevilDog's Brew and Beans.com. And then if you just use my last name or my name, Jason Watkins, or you could just go to DevilDog's Brew and Beans.com. Let me just put that in there. And then just use promo code Boomer, 10% off and free shipping on everything on your first order. It's always going to be free shipping, but you'll get 10% off that first order. But go in there and check all that stuff out, including our mug. It's 6 a.m. and Texas still sucks mug. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. We will see you all on the next one.